Welcome, lost souls. You have wandered into the realm of terror, a place where nightmares come to life, and sanity is but a fleeting illusion. Here, in the shadows of spine-chilling horrors, we whisper stories that were never meant to be told. And tonight, I have one that will crawl under your skin and make your very bones tremble. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and whatever you do, don't look behind you. There was a crackling sound like distant static before everything fell into silence. And then, the story began. The forgotten door. They say some doors are never meant to be open. Some places should remain forgotten. But curiosity, it's a wicked thing. It lures you in, whispers in your ear, promising secrets long buried. And that's exactly how this story begins. It happened to a man named Daniel, a man who never believed in the supernatural. He was the type to scoff at ghost stories, to roll his eyes at people who spoke of hauntings. But belief isn't required when horror decides to find you. The apartment. Daniel had just moved into a quiet, old apartment on the outskirts of town. The kind of place that had history. The building was ancient, its walls thick with the weight of forgotten years. The floors creaked, the pipes groaned. But Daniel didn't mind. He wasn't the superstitious type. For the first few nights, nothing felt out of the ordinary. That was until he noticed something strange. A door, small, unmarked, out of place. It was at the far end of the hallway, one he must have passed a dozen times without a second glance. But that night was different. The door was slightly open. Just a sliver, just enough to see darkness beyond it. Daniel frowned. He was sure the door had been shut before, maybe even locked. He stepped closer, peering into the crack. The air beyond it felt colder. The hallway, unnaturally silent. He hesitated, and then, as if something unseen was guiding him, he pushed the door open. The room that shouldn't exist. The hinges groaned in protest, the sound stretching unnaturally long, like the walls themselves were warning him. Beyond the door, there wasn't a closet. There wasn't even a normal room. There was a staircase. It led downward, deep into the dark. This made no sense. Daniel's apartment was on the second floor. There was nothing below but the foundation. There shouldn't have been any stairs. And yet, there they were, leading into a black void that swallowed all light. A rancid, musty smell drifted up from below. It was thick, suffocating, the stench of decay, of something long dead. Daniel's instincts screamed at him to shut the door and walk away, to pretend he had never seen it. But curiosity is a wicked thing. He took a step forward. The descent into darkness. The wooden stairs creaked beneath his weight. The air grew colder with each step, pressing against his skin like unseen hands. The deeper he went, the heavier the silence became. It was not the silence of an empty room. It was the silence of something waiting. Then he heard it. A whisper, software hollow, just below him. "You shouldn't be here." Daniel froze, his pulse hammering in his ears. The voice had no direction. It seemed to come from everywhere at once. He turned, his breath quick and shallow. But there was nothing behind him except the darkness stretching endlessly up the stairs. Then, the whisper turned into a groan, deep, guttural. It vibrated through the air, through his bones. And suddenly, he saw them. Hands, dozens of them, reaching from the darkness below, pale, emaciated, their fingers twitching, nails broken and splintered. They clawed at the air, stretching toward him. And then they moved. Scrambling, climbing, dragging themselves up the stairs. Daniel didn't think. He turned and ran. Escape or not? He bolted up the stairs, his lungs burning, his heart slamming against his ribs. The whispers grew into wails, shrieks that made his skull feel like it would crack open. The walls shuddered. The very air seemed to twist. And just as he reached the top, something grabbed his ankle. Ice-cold fingers wrapped around him, yanking him backward. He hit the stairs hard. The wind knocked from his lungs. He kicked, thrashed, clawed at the wooden steps. And then, a voice, right in his ear. You opened the door. Now you belong to us. Darkness swallowed him whole. The aftermath. Days later, the apartment stood empty. No sign of Daniel. No trace he had ever been there. The landlord, confused, checked the hallway. He had rented that unit out just a week ago. So why did it look like no one had lived in it for years? Then, he noticed something strange. That door, the one at the far end, it wasn't there anymore. No sign it had ever existed. But some nights, the new tenants hear footsteps, faint knocking. And if you listen closely, you might hear a whisper. You shouldn't be here. Outro. Final words from the narrator. Some doors are never meant to be opened. Some places should remain forgotten. But sometimes, curiosity gets the best of us. Tell me, have you ever seen a door that shouldn't be there? A door that you don't remember existing before? If you do, walk away. Because once you open it, you might never come back. If you enjoyed this terrifying tale, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. Because in the world of spine-chilling horrors, the darkness is always watching.